Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to be going over behavior-based safety presentation, and I'm going to give some information out about how to be safe in the workplace, in any workplace, and we're going to focus on hand safety. Some handout I'm going to hand out is this one. Thank you, cameraman. And so I'm going to go through and explain what safety means to you and how to use it in your everyday life. I'm going to explain how your children have grown up being more cautious than ever, mostly due to dad's and mom's career in the safety field. We're going to talk about some safety and hand placements, and I'm going to give examples of cutting fingers while in the kitchen or on a job site where limbs are lost every day. We're going to talk about employee training, and a few points to keep in mind in this class is that we're going to go over your worksheet and keep an eye on the PowerPoint. So the first slide we're going to go over our objectives. So some of the components of behavior-based program, roles and responsibilities, and how to make an observation on the work site to keep everybody safe and keep them in their right mind. Building a behavior-based program, some other areas we're going to go over are how to write a program, observing the process of safety, and safety meetings and how they're conducted. Now, there are many roles and responsibilities in the safety world. Supervisor is one of them. So a supervisor, his job is to keep observation data confidential, meaning keep his materials, his reports turned in, any accident that happens on job sites, and make sure that's turned in and go over it. We're going to make sure that there's no punitive action from observations, make behavior safety a daily operation. They want to keep safety on everybody's mind in the job site, make sure everybody's being safe, and they're going to provide necessary time and resources. Another role and responsibility is going to be a manager, and what they're going to do is train to understand behavior safety and remove any barriers from the supervisors. So they'll assist the supervisors in keeping everybody safe. Another role is an employee. So everyone needs to have a positive attitude to keep everyone safe. If somebody comes into work and they have a bad attitude, they could not be mindful and get hurt or get somebody else hurt on the job site. So they need to participate in safety meetings that are held daily. And then we're going to get support from the steering committee.
How is the steering committee assigned?
The steering committee is actually assigned by OSHA, and so there's different rules and regulations that have to be followed, and so they'll be assigned by OSHA. Great question. The steering committee is going to monitor everybody's behavior. They're going to develop some safe action plans, make sure that everyone signs off on it, goes to class every day, and has all that in order. They're going to monitor data and all the training classes and make any recommendations to management what they need to do better to keep their jobs safe. So some of the points here, we don't have to go over all of them, are making observations. You want to introduce yourself on a job site. You want to let everybody know what they're doing wrong. Keep everybody positive attitude. Give verbal feedback, and then you submit your sheet at the end of every job site observation. One area we're going to focus on is hand safety. So this seems to be a big issue, whether you're in your kitchen at home or at the job site. Where you place your hand, you can lose your fingers if you're not careful. So there were 11 reportable injuries in January to March, and 7 were hand injuries on a specific job site that I looked at. And there were 33 first aid injuries, and 10 of those were hand injuries, meaning 33 injuries were reported, and 10 of them were hand injuries, which is 1/3. So we have some steps here. We have a workplace assessment, glove selection, and work practices. So some of the workplace assessment, there's different activities we can do and go over different hand hazards. We've got scrapes, abrasions, burns, chemicals. Okay, it could be different kind of burns. Electrical, chemical burn, have glove selection here. Workers are required to wear hand protection on their hands at all times, and to help their hands.
How do you know which glove is best, which one to buy?
Okay, well, we're going to go through that, and it's actually on your handout that you have, and you've got your glove selection. So what you want to do is select and use the best glove for what you're doing, whether if you're cutting with a knife or you're whipping a chain around on the oil rig. You need to make sure your glove fits correctly. So here's a table here, and it kind of goes over, it goes over the different gloves. We have leather gloves, we have temperature gloves, cut puncture gloves, and task-specific gloves. So depending on what you're doing, that will determine your job glove that you need to wear. So some of our work practices are cutting, chemicals, hand placement. Now, the gloves for heightening awareness, now these are some